Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to day 15 of this 31 Days of Horror challenge in October. Cannot believe it's already day 15. It's been flying by really fast. Now that we are on day 15 of the challenge, I figured I do have the DVD, but it was also, like I said before, I've said this before a lot, but it's one of those ones where it's really hard to pull out because there's like DVDs behind and you gotta grab them and you gotta pull those out, then it's kind of difficult to put them back in and, you know, all that other mumbo jumbo. So, I do have this film on DVD. I would like to get the Blu-ray of it at some point, because I really do enjoy this film, and you can tell by the title, that review is going to be on House of Wax. This is the remake I'll be reviewing, not the original one with, I believe, Vincent Price from the 50s. This is the remake from 2005. Directed by a director, I think it's pronounced Jama Colette Serra, who I enjoy as a director. I really enjoy Orphan, Nonstop, and Run All Night, both with Liam Neeson. Also really enjoyed The Shallows with Blake Lively. It's a really good shark film, probably one of the better shark movies in the last couple years. So, Jama Colette Serra has done his fair share of really good movies. I think this was the very first film, or one of the first films that he got to direct. And I think he did a great job directing this. It's one of those remakes that no one talks about. It's pretty underrated in my opinion. It's from 2005. And you have a really recognizable cast of people. You have Elijah Cuthbert, who was in the TV show 24. She was also in The Girl Next Door, among many other movies. You have Chad Michael Murray, who went on to be in, I believe, was it One Tree Hill or The OC? It was one of those shows. He wanted to be in one of those shows, or he was in that show around this time. You also have Brian Van Holt, who you've seen in a couple movies. You have Paris Hilton, of course. You have Jared Padalecki from the TV show Supernatural. He went on to be Clay in Friday the 13th, the remake. Other characters, you also have Robert Ri'chard, if you're a big Nickelodeon fan back in the 90s, from Cousin Skeeter. He's in this movie as Paris Hilton's boyfriend. And another one of their friends, you have John Abrams, who is Denny from Meet the Parents. He's been in many other movies as well. He's one of the friends. And the whole idea is that you have this group of these friends going to a college football game, and they are on the road there. They stop in this town, and they're camping out. They feel like there's a guy watching them and things like that. So basically, their car breaks down. And they get stranded in this town, but so they're going to go look for help and things like that. And then the Jared Padalecki and Elijah Cuthbert meet this guy named Bo, who is Brian Van Holt's character, and he's trying to help them out. But then they come to find out that Bo and he has a twin brother, also played by Brian Van Holt, these two twins went crazy, and they were luring people to this town and kidnapping them and taking them off the highway, and they basically were running this wax museum where they would put people in wax and encase them in wax, and you actually see some shots of people being put into this chamber thing and this hot wax pouring all over them, and they basically get encased with wax. So basically, when they're seeing this wax museum, all of these figures they see, these are actual people that these two guys kidnapped over the years, and it's a creepy idea, you know. Especially there's this one part where when Jared Padalecki goes missing and he gets encased in the wax. There's a point where one of his friends goes to the wax museum and he sees him, but he's underneath the wax and he's feeling his face, and then he digs really deep and you can see a little bit of bone and some blood and things like that. And so it's really pretty gross stuff, and it's really great makeup effects. So I think whoever did the makeup effects did a really good job. And the cast is really solid all around. I mean, Elijah Cuthbert does a fine job. So does Chad Michael Murray, Brian Van Holt. If you don't like Paris Hilton, you get to see her get killed by the killer throwing a pipe into her eye. I guess she gets impaled on a pipe. So if you don't like Paris Hilton, she gets killed in this. Jared Padalecki I thought was solid as well. I thought he was really solid in the Friday the 13th remake, and I thought he did solid here too. And you know, it was a kind of a creepy setting in this small abandoned town, and basically what these twins have done, like some of the people they've kidnapped, like they have like one person like looks like they're opening the blinds, like they're flipping the light switches, and they're basically controlling everything that's in this town because they kidnapped all these people and put them in wax. And on top of that too, one of the things I really have to talk about just a little bit, I don't want to spoil it, but the finale when it's just Elijah Cuthbert and Chad Michael Murray, because they play brother and sister in the movie, and when they're being chased by the two killers and they're inside the wax museum, it's a really cool setting, like, and the cool idea for a film to end, because basically this wax museum is made entirely out of wax. It's not just the figures themselves, the people, it's the walls are made of wax, the roof is, the doors, like everything in this museum is made of wax. So basically there's a point when our two leads are fighting off the two bad guys, and a fire starts inside the museum, and basically they have to get out of there because the whole thing is melting because it's wax. So like the floors are crumbling underneath them because it's wax, and there's the fire down below and things like that. So it's a really great finale with this wax museum melting, and you know, I think it has really solid direction by John Michelet Serra. I think it was a pretty good debut for him to direct, because he went on to do Orphan, among many other movies. He's worked with Liam Neeson a couple times, and overall, I think House of Wax I consider it one of my personal favorite horror remakes. I think House of Wax is fantastic. So, if you like the original from Vincent Price, and you want to see a really good remake of that, I highly recommend you check this out, because it was its own movie. It didn't copy and paste the original, which I appreciate. It's made it its own movie. That's another thing I'm going to give credit to, was that it made it its own movie. Different characters, different setting, different plot, things like that. So I give John Michelet Serra credit for doing that. So if you want to see a really underrated horror remake that doesn't get talked about much nowadays, I would highly recommend you check this out. So thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. You guys take care.